Quote, the Nazis got better treatment, end quote, during World War II than Venezuelan migrants last week. That is according to a judge at a hearing today. Scripps News legal affairs correspondent Ava Joy Burnett has more on what was a wild day at the D.C. Appeals Court. Ava Joy, what happened in court today?
Hey there. I think that's a really accurate description of what happened inside court earlier today. It was really tense at moments. Even after everything happened, one of the attorneys told us that that back and forth that he had with officials was intense. So here's the backstory. The Department of Justice has asked the Federal Appeals Court to put on hold a lower court's decision that is preventing the Trump administration from moving forward with its efforts to deport undocumented migrants from the United States. The Trump administration signed an executive order which is relying on a law from the 1700s, and this particular law is called the Alien Enemies Act. And this law gives the president broad authority to deport undocumented migrants from the United States if there is a sense that these people could be a danger to the United States. And so the Trump administration deported just over a week ago about 200 people to El Salvador, 200 people who are from Venezuela to El Salvador. The Trump administration is saying these people are members of a gang known as Tren de Aragua. Now, the ACLU has had issue with this because they believe many of these people did not have their day in court to at least prove that they're not members of this gang. And that was the main issue that was being argued in that federal court earlier today. And I want for you to take a listen to a back and forth between one of the judges, an Obama-appointed judge, and the DOJ attorney who was making the argument that there are instances where the president of the United States is able to deport people even before they're able to have their day in court. Take a listen here.
There were plane loads of people. There were no procedures in place to notify people. Nazis got better treatment under the Alien Enemy Act than has happened here, where the proclamation required the promulgation of regulations, and they had hearing boards before people were removed. And yet here there's nothing in there about hearing boards, there's no regulations, and nothing was adopted by the agency officials that were administering this. People weren't given notice, they weren't told where they were going, and they were given, those people on those planes on that Saturday had no opportunity to file habeas or any type of action to challenge the removal under the AEA. And like you've agreed that 2 of those airplanes, people were removed under the AEA. What's factually wrong about what I said?
Well, Your Honor, we certainly dispute the Nazi analogy, but more importantly, the fact is that individual plaintiffs were able to file habeas in time in order to secure relief.
And Judge Patricia Millett continued to push back against that answer. She said even though 5 people were able to file a lawsuit to prevent their deportation from the United States, more than 200 other people did not even have the time or opportunity to file a lawsuit and have their day in front of a judge before they were deported. So this is an issue that continues to work its way throughout the court system, not only in a federal district court, Liz, but now in a federal appeals court.
And Ava Joy, after tracking this today, is there any indication on where the court is leaning?
It's really tough to say, but here's what I could tell you about the makeup of this 3-judge panel. There is one judge who was appointed by President George H.W. Bush, a Republican. The second judge here, you just heard from her, Judge Patricia Millett. She was appointed by President Barack Obama. And then the third judge, Judge Justin Walker, he was appointed most recently by President Donald Trump. And Judge Walker really had issues with 2 things. He took issue with 2 things from the arguments that the ACLU was making. He wanted to know, is there any instance where a lower court has been successful in blocking an administration's ability to pretty much exercise its authority when it comes to international national security issues? And it appeared as if this ACLU attorney did not have readily available precedent from different district court rulings where district courts have the ability to block an administration in that sense. And And Judge Walker, the Trump appointee, also wanted to know why is it that this case was brought here in Washington, D.C., as opposed to being brought in Texas, where many of these people are being held. It is very likely that this particular matter could make it all the way up to the U.S. Supreme Court. Judge Walker asked just as much about that earlier today. He had a hypothetical, and what if this were to head up to the Supreme Court? What would you like for us to do with regards to pausing the case, giving you an ability to continue to work its way in the lower courts or not? Those are major legal issues that these judges on this 3-judge panel will have to review, but we are anticipating a really quick decision here, possibly, Liz, possibly in a matter of days.
Okay. Well, legal affairs correspondent Avajoy Burnett, I know you'll stay on top of the story. Thank you so much for your reporting this evening.